Temperatures remain in the teens, single digits, and then we even get some colder air coming in as we go on into Tuesday and Wednesday in the upper Midwest. Stay with us. We've got more after Local on the 8s.
Evening Edition is sponsored by The Home Depot, driving down the cost of home improvement.
This will be a long one.
Yeah.
What's Steve going to do?
Probably watch a lot of golf.
Hi, may I help you?
Hi, yes. We have this, and my wife wants this. Can you help me with this?
Sure. Got me a nice robe last year. I miss you.
Well, just one more week. Run out of clean dishes yet? Steve?
I'm in here. Happy anniversary.
My old Frank.
The Hyundai XG350L with America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. When you do more than you have to, you win.
See your local Hyundai dealer.
Closed captioning on the Weather Channel is sponsored by Mutual of Omaha Insurance and Financial Services. Plan for tomorrow. Begin today.
You're watching the Weather Channel. Live by it. Live, you're watching the Weather Channel, Evening Edition.
Coming up next on the Weather Channel Evening Edition West Coast, the nation's capital is seeing some snow tonight. The same system that has flakes falling around the Washington area also made for a very wet day for many areas in the south.
Take Houston, for example. Now, if you were outside in the Texas city, chances are you needed that umbrella.
And Friday morning, you will definitely need to stop and watch your step if you're on foot tomorrow morning in some bigger eastern cities. We expect a wide area of snow in the east Friday morning. We'll let you know if the storm should be gone by the afternoon rush hour. Hello, welcome to the Weather Channel Evening Edition West Coast. It's 11:30 in Cleveland and midnight in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm Sandra Diaz.
And I'm Warren Madden. Thanks for tuning in as we look at a very snowy time of it here from especially around the Washington, D.C. metro up to Baltimore. And soon enough, it'll be reaching farther northward. We're already seeing snow all the way up toward New York City right now. This is what we're looking at for Friday morning. Wanted to drop back to what's going on right now, though. We'll get to that Friday morning forecast in just a sec, but here's the current conditions. And we see the snow now into the lower Hudson Valley. There's some snow at LaGuardia, also at JFK. Moderate snow falling right now as we get farther south into the northern end of Chesapeake Bay, and it's all moving northeastward. So here's what we're thinking through the day on Friday in terms of snowfall accumulations. And notice that the band of 1 to 3 inches is fairly wide, goes as far north as Albany, Portland, and over to Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. But farther south, Boston, New York City, heading down through Philadelphia, 3 to 6 inches, maybe a little more, and especially as we head to the south and east of those cities, that's where we get into the heavy snow band under our forecast scenario right now. The Cape, Long Island, southern New Jersey, northern Delaware, the north end of Chesapeake Bay, Washington, D.C. If you live on the south side of Washington, D.C., heading down toward Alexandria and on down towards, say, Petersburg and Manassas, watch out. Could have some rough driving conditions tomorrow for the morning commute, as we could see some fairly significant accumulations. Here's a look at the radar picture right now, and we do see that snow ever so slowly moving northeastward. Let's close in on a couple of radars closer in now so I can give you a better idea. And notice the brighter white around Washington, D.C. That's moderate snow. D.C., at Reagan National, at Andrews Air Force Base, BWI, Annapolis, Pax River, all reporting moderate snow at last check. So please be careful if you have to be out overnight in the morning. You'll need to leave some extra time for your commute for shoveling and for driving purposes. Farther north, the snow is still light as we go up through Trenton and heading up toward New York City. But earlier today, things weren't so bad around New York. We were able to get out there and do a little bit of outdoor activities. Perhaps you needed the jacket, certainly. Temperatures weren't all that warm. But if you were making your way to and fro here in the concrete canyons, no big problems. But things have deteriorated. Tomorrow's going to be a much different story as you will be contending with that snow. Leave extra time to get where you're going. Farther north in Boston, just starting to see a few echoes breaking out west of town and up toward Concord, New Hampshire. We do expect more to show up as we go through the overnight, but through mid-morning, we're calling for 1 to 3 inches of snow, southern New England up to about, say, central New Hampshire and Vermont. Heaviest snow amounts, southern New Jersey, across the mouth of the Delaware, through northern Delaware, northern Chesapeake Bay, and then a streak down through the western part of Virginia, heading up against the Blue Ridge and the Appalachians, getting around Charlottesville. So watch out. 6 to 10 inches of snow, quite possible through mid-morning. For the rest of the day, that snow chugs northeastward, and we will see it arriving in Boston during the overnight hours and getting into the morning and continuing through the day with some decent-sized accumulations, especially south of Boston, heading down onto the Cape. Well, let's leave the Northeast now. Wanted to go to the Midwest. High pressure, another surge of cold air building down, and we have seen a streak of snow during the last 24 hours across Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas. Right now, we're still seeing some snow here in the Ohio Valley. Indianapolis heading south through Bloomington, down to Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati, and we're also getting a little bit of snow. Notice the curve and the echoes here coming off of Lake Michigan. A little bit of lake-enhanced snow here in West Michigan could add up to 1 to 3 inches overnight. Same thing for the Ohio Valley, so no big accumulations. Those will all be farther east. Here's the forecast for the day on Friday. Cleveland, partly, well, some snow showers still around for you at 25. Partly cloudy, though, in Chicago at 19. And watch out for the wind here in the upper Midwest. Very windy in Minneapolis. It'll feel colder than the 21 we're calling for the high. So there we have it. Big snow system to deal with. Now let's go south, where part of the problem is rain, and then we'll get to drier weather as we go west. With that, here's Sandra.
Well, folks heading outside in Huntsville, Alabama, today got caught with some unusual sight, and that was snow. Snow flurries, very light at that. Nonetheless, they fell around the area. However, later in the day, that turned to rain. Temperatures around the Huntsville area today only reached to the low 40s. Friday won't be much better. Unfortunately, expect a blustery day with highs only reaching the low 40s again. Look at that. One more time. A few snow flurries. Well, some of us get excited here in the southeast who don't get to see much of that. And looking at Huntsville right now, we're looking at the moisture right around this area, right in here. We still have a lot of moisture in place. As we take a look at the bigger picture, look at all the moisture coming in from the Pacific. That's feeding those showers and that snow event we're seeing right now moving into the northeast. Then you take a look behind it. It's as quiet as can be. Not much going on. Drier air is really ruling the roost as high pressure is now beginning to build in. But it's this system here that's bringing all the rain, and it's finally beginning to clear up for some of us. Now, Nashville, you got clear conditions earlier, but look out, there's a possibility of another snow flurry or two as some of that moisture gets wrapped around. However, in Knoxville, look, the snow's not too far from ending here as this storm system continues to push east, but it's mainly rain for us around the southeast Gulf states. Chattanooga, it's mainly rain for you, even further in towards Atlanta and across towards Raleigh. However, the further north you go, we have those cold temperatures to hold this precipitation in the form of snow, and it will continue through the overnight hours. In fact, a continuation of rain like this will just keep some very dreary conditions for us this evening. Atlanta, I mentioned you're getting some rain, and it looks like you may get a break here fairly soon. So hang tight, Birmingham. You're finally beginning to get that break. But by the morning, it's a different story. This front moves east. We start to see improving conditions from west to east. But with moisture returning from the Gulf and that cold air filtering on southward, this could spell out trouble for us across central Texas into west Texas with a possibility of some icy conditions in the areas highlighted here in pink and maybe some snow further westward. For the rest of us, we clear up nicely through the day. Look for windy conditions, though, in the wake of the front, and rain pushing south throughout the afternoon into the evening. In the west, it's a big ridge that's just keeping our forecast very quiet. So Friday's forecast, don't worry too much. Maybe a few light spritzes here across the central areas of California along the coast, but mainly cold in the interior. The 50s we go here in the southeast.